Welcome. Core memory unlocked.
Hey, we're here.
I'm here.
Yes.
It's
yes,
a weekend.
Long pause.
We did a weekend thing. You and I did a weekend thing. And then I did it again to Core Memory Unlocked. Where'd you go? Okay, good God. I thought you went away. Hi, welcome to Core Memory Unlocked. I'm Zak, that's Justin. I don't know what's happening. Like, everything freaked out on my screen real quick, so I just wanted to make sure everything's A-okay. Yes. So, if you've paid attention to Core Memory Unlocked for the past few weeks, we have been leading up to Deadpool and Wolverine. We watched X-Men 2000, then we watched X-Men Origins, then we did Deadpool and Deadpool 2. And now here we are, and what's wild about this journey is that, unlike you, I've watched every trailer and everything for this lead up for this movie. You haven't seen 1 ounce of footage of this besides them in, like, Logan in the yellow suit.
Yes, I knew Wolverine would be in this, and I knew he'd be in his yellow suit. Yep.
Right. Yeah. So going into it, I want to get your thoughts. Well, first of all, the way this show is going to work also is that we're doing a non-spoiler review, so no spoilers at the beginning, and then we will let you know when it's spoilers. We'll put a little tag at the bottom, spoilers, and then we're going to get into one more thing I just dropped on Justin today. All right. Okay. So the lead up to this thing, I think we picked the right movies, and that sense of we got some X-Men love, we got Wolverine on his own, and then obviously Deadpool. And I think all those worked well into the movie. What I wasn't prepared for is that last trailer gave away some things. And it's like, ugh. So much so that I really do think Logan was kind of a watch that you could have done for the lead up.
Yeah, I agree. I have a friend that went to go see it today. And I asked her what movies she has seen, because it's like this careful thing. You don't want to go, have you seen this? Have you seen that? Have you seen this? I don't even say them now because we're still in non-spoiler territory, right? Because that would in itself would give spoilers. So I just said, like, hey, what have you seen? And then she was like, I've seen all the MCU movies, and I've said, I've seen the other Deadpool movies and stuff. And I was like, okay, what have you seen, like, other Marvel movies, just in general, just like with all the Fox and Sony, just everything, just curious. Anyway, one of the things she said that she had not seen was Logan. I said, first of all, that's like one of the best ones, so it's a must watch. Right. And I was like, yeah, definitely watch Logan before you go in. That's definitely one that I wish that I had rewatched before going into it. I didn't need to rewatch it, but it would have been fun to rewatch it before going into this.
100%. And I kind of wish I told you, but I was trying to give you the most, like, no spoilers, no ideas. I didn't want to plant anything in your mind.
You made the right call. You made the right call.
Okay, cool.
I'm always aware that I am risking there being something I missed by having no idea what I should be getting into, and I don't even want to ask, like, what should I rewatch, because that in itself would be. So you did everything right. I didn't want to know anything.
Okay. Cool. Let's get into this bad mammy jammy. Over the weekend, Deadpool and Wolverine hit theaters. We went Thursday. We haven't done a Thursday movie in so long, which was kind of exciting to do. And what's great about this, non-spoiler, is that this movie feels like an event film. It feels of it. Many generations would get into this. And I guess my kind of non-spoiler review is that this movie is a straight up love letter to Marvel's past while living in its present and going on a terrific journey with Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, all the way to the end. I think I don't remember a movie that I've laughed so much, cried so much, and just had a ball of a time, so much so I wanted to see it again immediately and purchase tickets for Sunday, where I'll get into more of those kind of thoughts in the spoiler discussion, because this movie, for me, when we left, we had dinner, And I realized that we all weren't even talking about the movie because I think there is something about it where it's like, I'm still processing. Like in game Spider-Man, I feel like I was able to have a conversation afterwards of being like, how cool is this? This is this.
Right.
I literally had to like take a moment to really process this the next day, thinking about the whole movie. And then going into today's experience, I was able to just sit back, relax, and enjoy everything that I saw. And good God, this is a top tier Marvel movie.
Yeah, I'm jealous that you wanted to go see it the second time. I can't think of the last movie that I've wanted to go see again just for the jokes. Like just the jokes alone. I was like, this movie is so funny and there's so many jokes packed into this. It actually upsets me that I know that I don't even remember half of the jokes. Right. And I want to go back and see them again. Like just for the joke, it's so funny. Just for the jokes alone, I want to rewatch it. And it's got a lot of heart to it. More than I expected, plenty of heart there. And it was all neatly packed. And I feel like in some of these other like event type movies, they get closer to 3 hours. They could have made like a 2-hour cut, but they gave it that length instead. This was that 2-hour cut. So it's paced great, but it's really dense to the point where I'm like, I want to go back and I want to see it again because it's so much. The action is so great, and there's so many great action scenes. There's so much great humor to it. It's like, yeah, you need more time to like really every time. I imagine you're gonna watch it at least 5 times before you're like, okay, I feel like I've gotten everything out of this movie. Right. So great,
and like the rewatchability of this one. Like I love Deadpool and Deadpool 2, as we've said on previous episodes. But there is just something about this movie where watching his interaction and his jokes for even how low he was going after Marvel during a low point, and I think that's a good thing. I think the movie itself, even Marvel, like knows where they're at as a state, and they let it be known in this. Like him coming for Disney and Marvel was something I don't think people expected.
Right. And it's a great move because I mean, like as I've started to like disengage from like the MCU, once I heard that they kind of acknowledged like, okay, this isn't going so great and we're going to try to like retool some things. I was like, okay, great. That actually gave me a little bit of hope that at least they have that self-awareness. Right. And they're going to start doing things a little differently. And so, yeah, I feel like this movie doubled down on that, where it was just kind of like, indirectly saying like, all right, we know where we're at, and we're going to do better. We're going to do better.
Right. 100%.
And I love that.
I say, we've been going on 8 minutes here, and I feel pretty good about it. If you haven't seen it yet, those are our thoughts. Highly suggest going to see it. Now we're going to get into spoiler territory, and I'm putting up that sign. If you didn't know, you didn't know what was happening. It's happening. Yeah. And we'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. I'm not saying we need to break down every little bit of this movie. Like you said, I think there are going to be...
Yeah, that would take a lot of time.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot of time. But... And I don't even... Okay. This movie, from the jump, was a banger. And I remember just a couple of weeks ago, they've been traveling, showing like the first 30 minutes. And I meant to time it while watching this because they showed like the first 35 minutes. I'm very curious where the cutoff is. Like I'm very curious if the cutoff is right when like Chris Evans shows up.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it would make a good, I feel like around the 30-minute mark is when he actually gets to the void itself. And that would be a good time to like stop it, I feel like.
Right. And so the whole premise of this movie is that Deadpool is trying to figure out his own existence. Like we have the first movie where he wants to love someone. The second movie, he wants to get back to that love, and he wants the love of people around him. In this one, he's trying to figure out his purpose and what he doesn't see. And we get it from Happy Hogan because after he's traveled through time, he goes through space to 616 Earth to try to become Avenger because he's trying to figure out his purpose. And he doesn't really understand what to do now. Now that he's been naysayed by the Avengers to join them, he loses all like existence for himself. And that's why like him and Vanessa, as we see, they break up. Like she's on her own.
So it seems like, you know, with Deadpool never, so if you look at like Deadpool 1 and 2, he never decides to go out and be a hero or a vigilante
on his own terms, right?
Right, that's what I mean. So like in the first movie, he's just trying to fix his face.
Right.
That's all he's trying to do. He's not trying to save anybody's lives. He's not trying to be a hero. He's not a hero for hire. The second one, in the very beginning, his girlfriend gets shot and killed.
Right.
And he tries to just kill himself. And so he's just trying, and then he finds the kid and he just tries to take care of the kid. But he's not like, he's doing a tryout for X-Men. He's like, I don't know, maybe I can do this. And he sucks at it. So I imagine then there's also another time jump, because it has been a while since our last Deadpool movie. That he's just not doing anything. He doesn't fit in with the X-Men. He's not like Spider-Man being like a solo vigilante. I don't think he's just really doing anything with his powers. So I think that's where this movie picks up, is like, okay, what are you doing with yourself, man? Like, what are you doing with this? And that's what he kind of has to figure out.
Right. And he's a car dealership.
Right.
That's what he's doing with his life. Yes. So eventually the TVA, which we have found in Loki and stuff like that, like they come to get him. And when we meet Mr. Paradox, he's like, hey, I want to grab you from this timeline, put you in the sacred timeline, because you're going to be important. By the way, that timeline is going to die. And Deadpool, once again, because he cares about people, he doesn't want them dead. So he's like, I got to go save some stuff. So what's the problem? Why is the timeline dying? Oh, because your anchor, Wolverine, Logan, has passed away. And that right there is amazing, because they said the entire time they weren't going to mess with Logan. They're not going to play with it. And I think it makes Logan even fucking more important.
Yes.
And I'm
and
like,
I agree.
God damn.
Yeah. And it like acknowledges that Wolverine was the anchor for all of those franchises, all of the X-Men movies. He was the anchor for all of it. He was that through line. And as soon as he decided to retire the character, you know, there was a couple more X-Men movies after that, which, you know, nobody thinks was good. And
no New Mutants.
So I think that's all they acknowledged. Also, like this timeline, this universe of X-Men is dead. It's crumbling. We're not doing anything more with this.
Right.
Which is funny, like that we've gotten so meta now in these movies.
It's meta itself.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
And so they can acknowledge that universe is officially dead. And if we're going to be seeing any more X-Men and stuff, it's now going to be in the MCU in this like new kind of timeline thing.
Right. And I love that they do, like you just said, they play with the fact that it is a story plot element, but it is real life elements in itself of this universe isn't going to exist anymore. So Deadpool decides, okay, I'm going to find an anchor. I'm going to find a Wolverine. And then we get a montage to the power of love for him going around trying to pick up different Logans. And I absolutely adore, they were like, Hugh Jackman possibly only has one movie left in him. We're going to put him in every single comic reference that you know.
Yes, right.
So you understand that he has played every bit of Logan that he could. And we start off with the first one where he jumps off the bar stool. He's like, oh my God, you're comic accurate. You are, you short king. Like, I love that. We get Henry Cavill as a quick cameo as it. And I forget if we talked about this, and I heard about it after I saw it, and then I checked it out, like I was paying attention. When he releases his claws, he does the Mission Impossible cock.
Oh, does he? I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I didn't know it either. And
that's great.
Yeah, he goes, shing,
that's great. Yeah. That's great.
Oh my God,
Perfect.
It's the best.
Perfect.
It's the best. And we go through a couple of other ones that are, you know, monumental. Hell, we see one wearing the orange outfit, which was pretty bitchin'. Like the fact that they made that outfit super quick.
And it's actually it's so fun and it's so accurate, because we've seen Wolverine try to get recruited before, and he always just like, fuck off, not interested. And so like Deadpool having to go and try to recruit all of these, and so they're 100% of the time they're going to say fuck off, not interested, with the exception of the one that he finds, which is just too drunk and miserable to really fight back that much.
Right. So, because when he grabs him, he's like, on your left, I got him, he's great.
exactly. So it's I thought it was like very fitting that like, okay, great. He didn't find a Logan that was like, okay, yeah, I'll help you with your universe or whatever, because that just is not going to exist, and that wouldn't be true to the character.
Right.
So that was great too. Yeah.
So they put him into the void. Paradox. Pokey Pokey sticks him into the void, and then they have a nice action sequence between the two. Finally, we get these two facing off, which was nice.
Yeah.
And then
in front of the Fox 20th Century
Fox logo, the Avengers helicarrier in the background.
Yes, in the background.
So many references in this.
Oh, there's so many Easter eggs. That's by itself. You'd have to. It needs to be released so you can pause it and go through every single detail. That's going to take a long time to go through. I'm sure they buried all sorts of stuff in there.
100%. And then we get our second cameo, or I guess our third, because Happy has been in it. But
yeah, okay, you're right.
Then we get Chris Evans shows up, and like Deadpool's like, I know this voice.
Yes.
He's like, oh, he's going to say it. He's going to say Avengers, a sip flame on. And he lifts up in the sky, and Chris Evans came back to play Johnny Storm.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Unbelievable moment that we all just cried and yelled for. I yell 14 times in this movie.
Yeah. And that was the, and you know what, they looking back on it now, like that was the appropriate time to reveal his character, because if they had done it later, we would have known, okay, they're going through old properties. He could be an old property. But it was new enough in the movie where we expected an MCU version of Chris Evans. Right. And so that subversion of our expectations was beautifully done. And if you had put it later in the movie, I think we would have maybe been onto it a little bit more. And we might have been like, is this going to be Johnny Storm or is this going to be Steve Rogers? I don't know.
I think you're absolutely right about that, because like even when he shows up, they hintly play the Captain America theme. He's pointing. You see red on his gloves. Yeah, like they're going out of their way to try, because like, oh, is this what happened when he was returning the gems? Like,
right,
is this
or anything? Yeah.
But right, so like the fact that this was so quick and done in the scene perfectly, and during this, the bad guys show up. They grab Wolverine after he cuts Sabretooth's head off, which is a line in X-Men Origins Wolverine when he talks to Sabretooth and he's like, how do you think you're going to kill me? He says, I'm going to start by trying to cut off your goddamn head. Oh, and he does it finally in this movie. Right. So they're in there, and what shocked me most about this scene, Chris Evans is still there. It wasn't like, hi, I was here, because he gets knocked down from the sky.
Yes,
but like
he
sticks around just a little more longer to tell them about the others.
Yeah, they don't waste it feels less like cameos and more just like actual parts in the movie.
They're characters. They're not
in the cameo. Yeah, a cameo is like when Chris Evans was in the second like Thor movie where he like Loki turned into him for like half a second or whatever.
Or Homecoming.
Exactly.
Where he's in the video.
That's the cameo. All of the cameos in this movie all have an actual part to play, which I think, which I love for the most part, with the exception of some of the like the background
Henry Cavill
big cameos. Right. Yeah, those are cameos, but like the real big ones that they put in that were meant to like have an applause and a pop in the theater, they all had actual parts.
If there was a character from the former X-Men universe that were in the background, but you could obviously tell weren't played by the actors, those are cameos. Kelly Hu wasn't in this movie as Lady Deathstrike, but she's in the movie.
Right,
So they end up at Cassandra's, right? Cassandra Nova. They end up at Giant Ant-Man, and she's like, hey, I'm going to feed you to this guy. And Deadpool sells out Johnny, being like, oh, he talked mad shit about you before this, and delivers this absurd line where Chris Evans is freaking out. Like, what are you talking about?
I would never say nothing like that would come out of my mouth ever.
Dude, like, and what I realized, and this is, again, we're back in quick spoilers, he says more in the post credit than what was delivered.
Yes.
There.
Oh, 100%.
I didn't realize that. I thought it was verbatim, but like he adds on a whole suit like suck on my juggernaut.
Yes. It's the best part. He just kept going and going and going.
We'll get into that then. We'll save it because
we got to start fast forwarding, man, because this is already going to be a 60-minute podcast. We're going beat for beat through this movie.
Oh, no. It's cool. It's cool. This is so right. They escape Cassandra Nova, and then eventually they find the others that Johnny Storm was telling you about, and it's 4 people. First we get Elektra from the Fox universe. Yep. Then we get Blade from the New Line movie.
All right, pause. All right, go ahead. Keep going.
No.
I was going to say, I want to go, because we haven't really talked about this. Okay. I want to go through each of these and go over your reactions for them. So, like, when Elektra showed up, like, what did you think when Elektra showed up?
When Elektra showed up, I was like, yes, we're referencing the Daredevil movies, which was great. It's not going to, listen, Elektra had the movie Elektra that didn't blow away the world. But once she showed up, I was like, ooh, anything's possible.
Yeah, for sure. Agreed. Like they'll go anywhere. Yeah, I think I was surprised. I wasn't as excited, but I was definitely super surprised. And then I thought it was cool. Like it's one of those things that like once it made me realize that like especially from Spider-Man No Way Home, from not being a big fan of the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies. And yet, and seeing him in No Way Home made me love him as Spider-Man more than ever before. Right. I've definitely learned that, like, I don't have to like Daredevil, the Daredevil movie with Ben Affleck, or Elektra, which I've never even seen because who cares, in order for me to like this character showing up in another movie. I'm like, great, I love the character. This is great. So I was excited to see her in it. It was almost like a good for her. And it makes me like her more. So it was definitely cool. But I was definitely more surprised than anything else. I was like, holy shit, this is a deep cut.
Right.
So then cut to Blade.
Coming in.
Now that's insane.
Let out a sound I don't think I've ever made in my life. When that man showed up on screen, because
I'm sure I grabbed you in the theater.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We were grabbing. We were double Dutch ruddering at this point.
Yeah.
But like, I was just blown away to the fact that they did it. They brought this guy because obviously Ryan and him had some troubles on that third Blade movie.
Yes.
But for
him and everybody, Wesley Snipes and everybody on that movie.
Yeah, he hated that fucking movie, which everyone hates that movie. So do we really frown upon Wesley?
They had the CGI his eyes opening.
God damn it!
Because he refused to do it.
But that was a very, very big moment for me, because as much as we talk about MCU's 10 years, 11 years all put together, Blade's the beginning. Blade's 1998, first Marvel movie, not called a Howard the Duck. And this is where all of this stems from. So the fact that they grabbed him and honored him was amazing.
And the fact that he signed on to do it. I was also surprised by that.
Yeah.
That seems, I'm like, I wouldn't think in a million years he would be into doing it.
I honestly think because he looked at that script and was like the same of like, oh, this isn't a cameo. It's a straight up like,
and he gets to be badass Blade again.
Like I need a Void Avengers shirt with all 4 of these people.
Yeah. I agree.
Then the third person who showed up was never existed Fox property Gambit, Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum as Gambit,
fucking love
that was something that was like slightly fan casting, but also like Channing Tatum has like expressed he's wanted to play Gambit.
That's not fan casting. He legit was Gambit at 2015's Comic-Con. Okay. Fox had an entire panel like, look, this movie's coming out. It was one of the First Class movies. This movie's coming out. Here's what we got. We got Apocalypse coming out. We have Logan. We have Deadpool. And in the future, we have Gambit coming out. And there's a Comic-Con panel picture of Channing Tatum holding the camera, and next to him's Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, all the cast of the first cast.
So he was cast as Gambit.
This movie was on the verge of being made. It lost like 2 directors, but it was on the verge, and then Disney bought Fox.
Oh, and so then it never got made. I
never
see.
got-
That's what it is. Okay.
That's why during his
Fucking
jokes, and he was like, maybe even some of us never existed.
Is it right? Yes, because he never actually got the movie. Yeah,
It wasn't
Okay.
John Krasinski style.
Krasinski's like
Yeah, it's
okay,
not
gotcha.
that. It's not
Okay.
that. He was legitimate.
That I didn't know. I knew he wanted to play Gambit, and I knew everyone else was down for. I was definitely down for it.
Oh, yeah.
And so that was
100%.
so that was great too. That was fun. And then our last cameo at this part of the film.
And again, not necessarily a cameo, is Daphne Keene's X-23 from Logan, and it's the legitimate one from Logan. It is.
Yes.
It is her. So she has all the memories of what happened in Logan. And I love that, Wolverine still has fuck all to do with this mission, because once he realizes Deadpool made an educated wish, he has no care about this. So eventually he has the sit down with Daphne, which is really good.
Yeah.
To the point of, you were always the wrong guy.
For sure. Well, so what did you think of X-23 showing up when you saw her pop up on screen? What was your thought?
Once again, it just makes Logan even more fucking better. After that movie, all I could think about was I wonder if we'll get an X-23 movie out of this, because Fox was still going.
Right.
So
I agree.
Maybe this will end with that. And with her showing up, all I can think of was yay, she got another one. Will she get another one out? I don't know, but maybe in Secret Wars, maybe we will see Daphne Keene in her Wolverine outfit.
Right, yeah, that would be badass. That was probably the one I was most excited about.
Right.
Especially because she played a child and now she's grown up, and also she looks the same. Some people like Pyro. You had to tell me that it was Pyro, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can kind of see it now.
Yes, that is Pyro.
What I mean? Some people it's hard to recognize, but she was she looks. It's the same freaking face, just taller and a little bit older. And so I love to see the grown version of her now, and what she's up to. And she gave. I mean, she was responsible for some of the biggest heartfelt moments in that movie, and a huge turnaround for Logan's character, for Wolverine's character in that movie was her.
Brought him back. It brought him back to being I want to be an X-Men. He wears the suit because it's honoring the X-Men that fell in his world. And now he's got it back. And they go to Cassandra. They beat the shit out of everybody while Deadpool and Wolverine go up to try to mess with Cassandra, put on that Juggernaut helmet, and she gets shot. And she's also I can open a gateway for you to get back to the TVA. And so she does. She helps him out, and we get the Marvel sparkly.
The Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange gimmick. So they jump back to the Fox universe, and they find the TVA. But now Cassandra finds out that it was Pyro working for the TVA, so she goes as well, and she wants to use this Time Ripper thing that's destroying the universe, and she's going to destroy all the universes. Good story. I think simple yet effective plot for this villain that we're learning about. I think she, to be honest, I feel no fan is ever going to feel like they got enough of that character in this 2-hour movie.
Right, yeah.
I, honest to God, Mr. Paradox and her, chef kiss.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely fell in love with her. She I believe the actress is a they them. I will say that.
Yes.
But the whole finger in their in the skulls thing was so first of all, I love that effect. It was so freaking trippy. I love that she couldn't her brother Professor X couldn't just get into people's minds by touching his own head.
Right.
She had to actually get into other people's heads.
She had to get her hands dirty.
Yeah,
that's what she says. I love that.
Exactly. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, for that character, I absolutely love. My only problem with her is she's so OP. Insane. I don't know what they were gonna do with her. I don't know how they got past her at any point, because anything she could just think of, she could just rip the skin off of people.
Well, she figured out. Well, she does her thing. She gets into the Time Ripper because she wants to put all that energy in her. So Deadpool and Wolverine have to battle a slew of the Deadpool army that are coming out of the portal with her, because they're supposed to stop them for her. So
right, which is also funny because I was half expecting, because she's so overpowered, I was expecting when the Deadpool gang showed up, they were going to be fighting alongside Deadpool to fight her, and they'll all just die one by one, and then so I thought it was that. But then when I was like, and then when they flipped it and they were all, oh great, so now Deadpool and Wolverine have to fight all of them and then eventually get to the big boss at the end, which of course led into this awesome single side scroller.
Listen, even before that, we get the hit of Like a Prayer from Madonna, and they walk out, and that's a scene people have seen in months. For months, we have watched this walkout that they've done.
That was part of the promo.
And I was like, this is getting great. We're about to get into it. The moment that motherfucker had the audacity to reach back and pull his cowl over, because that hasn't been seen. Yeah. Once again, look, Goosey's right from the fucking. It might be. I told this to Brooke. It might be my favorite comic book movie moment from anything I've ever seen. Because he put on the thing no one thought he would for 25 fucking years. And here it is. And then side scroll action piece. Chef's kiss.
It's great.
They get in there, and then they have a really good, like, Deadpool's been waiting for this moment to team up with them. Then a couple of haha moments of, like, at the window, am I Jesus or am I Spock? Kind of just fucking so Deadpool. And they get in there, and Deadpool's about to sacrifice himself because anybody's going to die if they pull these cords from the Time Ripper. And then eventually Wolverine gets in there. They get in together, and they're holding arms, and abs are showing, and everybody's loving it. But then we get
pause right there real quick. So I want to say they made a joke, or Deadpool made a joke about Wolverine being out of shape. Yes. And almost like a joke of like Hugh Jackman didn't get in shape for this movie, and that's why he's in suit the whole time. So I love, and it was like, okay, it's kind of like in Infinity War when one of the Chris names, Star-Lord, when he gained a little weight because he wasn't in the same shape he was in for his own movie. So they acknowledged, like, hey, you put on a little weight, man. Yes. So it was that same kind of acknowledgement, but then at the end to reveal, like, no, he is in shape, and he's
shit brick ass.
We're going to rip his shirt off, and show you that, no, he's not pudgy underneath. We didn't just make that joke as a joke. I thought that was a great moment, too.
Hilarious and great. Then we get a montage of Wolverine's life. Then we get a montage of Deadpool's life. And because we have lived with these guys for a number of years, once again, broke me in theater, and they're using the music super fucking well. They stop Cassandra, but they both live, and fucking Deadpool's like, you're going to be doing this till 90.
Yeah, till you're 90.
Disney's going to make you do this till you're 90. And then fucking eventually the end is Wade brings him home. And he's like, meet my friends because you are my friend. And we get a nice shot of Daphne and Logan together and stuff, which makes me like, okay, once we get the Secret Wars, let these two kind of be a fucking team together. Let's do it. And overall thought, we didn't even mention all the Deadpools. Matthew McConaughey was a Deadpool. Blake Lively was a Deadpool. Nathan Fillion, just found out today, was Deadpool. So fucking good. But just my overall thoughts of this movie, I can't even express how great of a love letter it is for all the characters that are in it, for the universes that it built. It's definitely in my top 10, if not top 5 of these movies that I've seen, because it hit every emotion I have ever had about these movies. And it single-handedly came out to be showing you, here's the thing that you love in 2 hours and 7 minutes.
Yeah, for sure. Agreed. And I think it really felt like it was, because it does feel, yes, it stars Deadpool, but it does feel less of a Deadpool movie, and it feels more like a crossover special event, crossover comic that obviously stars Deadpool and Wolverine, but it's really about this whole event of everything else going on, and the tour guides are Deadpool and Wolverine.
Right. It's like Civil War. Like, it's a Captain America movie, but really it's 2.5 Avengers.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's a lot like that. It's a big crossover event.
Right.
And also I love that it served as like this huge redemption arc for Wolverine as well. Or, you know, a version of the character that we had not seen before. And yeah, I think it is one of those things that like it retroactively, it's easy to shit on all of these bad movies. Yes, there were you know, plenty of good ones by Fox and such, but it allows you to, regardless love or hate it, you appreciate the journey that we've been on, all the highs, all the lows, and allows us to just like have love for these characters, even if we weren't a big fan of the movies that they were in.
Right.
And I love that they give us an opportunity to do that. I have a question.
Yep.
Is this an official MCU movie?
Yes, it is.
That would be part of the, you know, phase 4
MCU.
or whatever.
They would phase 5.
Phase 5 is where we are.
Yeah.
So it's considered an official MCU movie.
Yeah, they count it as the 34th release.
Wow.
Yep.
That's a big deal. Deal. So yeah, it is nice that they kind of like, okay, here's the official like merging of these properties, and here's like, you know, the movie that's going to encapsulate that.
And I'm not going to say it's like, what's wild about the end, watching it today, it's like, you know, they don't even necessarily say Deadpool's in the MCU. Like, I have theories. I have theories that Wolverine and him sucked in that power, so now they can travel to whatever the fuck they want to. But like, they end up back on their universe.
I was going to say, so is he like, so when they're at that like birthday party thing, is that the original Deadpool universe that he was in?
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't remember because I know he traveled through so many universes. Like, did he find a different universe where he works at a car dealership? But that was the same universe.
Yes. Same universe. He just wants the TVA because the TVA can go everywhere.
Right, yeah, of course.
And they're looking on everything. He just goes to the TVA's home base on his planet. And that guy doesn't want to be in that timeline anymore. That's why he's trying to rapidly get it wrapped up so he can go back to the sacred.
And the Deadpool universe being the Fox universe, the same one that Wolverine existed in the movie Logan and died
Which in their world, I think they just are all the X-Men movies, all the Logan. Like, I know people have said, oh, it's Logan's in its own thing. Fuck that. No, it's
it's all in the same kind of universe, whatever number we want to apply to it.
Right.
Gotcha. Right. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah.
So any final thoughts on that before our next adventure?
No, I want to see it again. I loved it. It was fucking great, dude. I'm so glad that we saw it when we did. I'm so glad we saw it early. I'm so glad. Like, the next day I was like, let me see what other people are saying about Deadpool. I typed in Deadpool into YouTube and I scrolled down a little bit and it was just spoiler after spoiler after just the cameo. I was just kind of like, wow.
Imagine?
Friday morning. It was just, you can't even type Deadpool into YouTube without seeing full spoilers.
No one has any regard. It's like no one cares about being classy. They just want to fucking get their click. And it's
exactly.
Just disgusting.
That's exactly what's
You're not
happening,
even going to get the click now because you're showing the fucking spoiler.
Right.
It's just disgusting.
For sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I love this movie. So this same very weekend, and by the way, it made $205 million domestically.
Oh wow. Yeah, I haven't even paid attention to how much it was.
Biggest rated R movie ever. It beat out the previous winner, which was Deadpool 1 for 135. So it beat it almost fucking $100 million.
Makes sense.
It's going to make $1 billion. But big weekend for Marvel because they started with that panel on Thursday with it. Yeah. And then they had their Saturday panel where they were showing, they showed a little more of Captain America. And even Harrison Ford was out there and he was like hulking out and shit. It was hilarious.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, he was being a big goofball. Then the Thunderbolts came out. They showed a teaser for that.
Thunderbolts. Yep.
They revealed Esposito's character that he's going to be playing. And then they did Fantastic Four, and they showed the flying car that's in it, which is great, and the official logo, which is chef's kiss.
I haven't seen that yet.
It's called Fantastic Four. The whole title is Fantastic Four First Steps, but it looks like the 1960s. It'll take place in the 60s.
I was going to say, it's going to take place in the 60s, right?
Yeah. And then they announced Anthony and who's the other?
Joe.
Joe Russo are coming back to do Secret Wars, and this is how they phrase it. They were like, for us to do Secret Wars, one of our favorite things that we've ever done, we have to lead up to that. So we are going to do the first of those two movies, and it is called Doomsday. And everybody freaked out. And then all these minions of Doom came out, and they were like, we have cast our Doom. And this is what the everybody got to see. Like, there's all the Dooms, there's Avengers. And then this motherfucker had the audacity to reveal himself as Dr. Doom. RDJ, Robert Downey Jr., is coming back. And he said on the mic, he said, new mask, same task.
Right.
So, in the world that we're in with the multiverse, and obviously we can only speculate, I don't think he's playing Victor Von Doom. Victor Von Doom could be an alias that he uses.
Yeah, right. I don't think so either.
I think he's playing variant Tony into whatever world. And I think that that fucking announcement, I was like, this make Ultron fucking relevant. Because it's the same deal. He just wants to put a shield around the Earth.
Right.
I think in his world, he beats Cap.
Okay.
I think he kills him. I think the fucking Accords exist. He makes fucking the bots everywhere.
Right.
But now once he starts going crazy, instead of just Iron Man bots, they're going to be fucking Doom bots. And in his mind, I'm going to protect every fucking universe. And it's only going to be me. I'm going to send all these heroes to a fucking planet to fuck all. And then that's where we get Secret Wars.
Yeah.
It's my God!
Crazy. We'll see. It's freaking crazy. I mean, I was definitely like shocked by it. I mean, it's one of those things that like you don't know what to think, and then it's also confusing because they didn't give you any details, and so like it is confusing. You're like, okay, so how are we going to accept him? We can't accept him as anything else besides Tony Stark. And I know that they know that. We're just not going to be able to accept him as a different character. That's just not going to work. So there's clearly more to this plan that they've planned out. But yeah, I'm excited to see where I hope it all manifests. We've gotten plenty of announcements for things that, never existed, or just got scrapped.
So to that, this is why I think Marvel's back in a big bad way. I think they realize they need to wrap this entire thing up, and then they're going to start over for many of things. They Ryan Reynolds in the interview, like he got asked, "Are you going to do a Deadpool 4?" He was like, "Oh no, Blake will kill me if I did." But I think he'll be in Avengers, and I think the whole thing and why Wolverine's back in his way. I think the whole plan is to wrap this up to start over, to soft reboot like DC is. And then we go into X-Men and stuff. That's why, for me, the internet, and you'll see it up there, like half of them are like, oh my God, he's back, this is great. And then half of them are neck beards who breathe out of their mouth that are like, oh, this is why we're finally getting Dr. Doom, and this is what we're getting. Bitch, you got Dr. Doom twice. You got two different. Now you have an A-lister coming in who's giving back to the thing he did not have to do. And he gets to be a complicated version of that same guy. Yeah, I'm into it. Yeah. Just like how they preserved Logan, your Iron Man ain't coming back. And I don't know if it's just because I'm always ready for this shit. Like, I grew up a Star Trek fan, so like half the fucking episodes are mirror universes of the bad version of the character. This is something Hollywood has done 100 years now, and I don't quite understand the grasp of like, yeah, he's just playing a bad version. Who can fuck shit up? Let's go.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I'm down to see what they got. I'm trusting that they have a plan, and I'm trusting that it's going to work. I don't know how it would work, but I'm not the one with the plan. They are. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see it. And again, I hope it happens. I hope that.
Go ahead. And I'm sorry, just to kind of reassure you, like 2025, they only have 3 movies coming out. They nixed Blade. Blade ain't coming out. So
Right, yeah, as stated in Deadpool 3.
So the 3 movies that come out next year are Captain America.
Yeah.
Then it's Thunderbolts in May.
Okay.
Then it's Fantastic Four in November. And then 2026 is Doomsday.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So our
That's
fourth
it.
movie. So 3 more movies, and then the next Avengers.
And the only TV shows we got are Agatha comes out this September, and then Daredevil.
Right.
Let's
Right.
fucking
Yeah,
go.
great.
Like,
Great.
everything's minimal. It doesn't feel like I'm getting
Yeah.
fucking She-Hulked and this and that.
Right. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I think for me, to finish this, let's play it safe, guys.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
do the greatest hits and call it a day.
Just this morning when I was telling my wife Leanne about the Doomsday thing, and she was like, "Well, who?" And the Avengers, yeah. And she was like, "Well, who are going to be the new Avengers?" And I was like, "I don't know. Here are the possibilities." And I literally rattled off 30 characters that we've been introduced to in the last 6 years. And I was like, "I don't know. Some of them, I guess."
I guess some of them. I think there are a lot that could play into it. I think obviously Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Hawkeye.
Give me the new Hawkeye and Black Widow. Yeah.
I think we'll get
them.
them. And then, Shang-Chi, I definitely think will be one. And then I really, honest to God, don't think we'll get anybody else till Secret Wars. I think they're going to try to keep it as low maintenance as possible. Plus, if you're basking that your Secret Wars is going to have 65 fucking characters.
Is that what they're saying?
Yeah, they're saying Secret Wars is going to have 65 heroes.
Wow, cool, great. I want to see them all in a movie.
I want to see them all. Let's wrap this bitch up.
Put them all in there. Just make it feel like it was worth watching all those movies.
Yes.
I know you're not a fan of the Eternals, but give me a reason why I should have watched the Eternals. You know what I mean? Like, have that paid back in some type of way.
To be fair, they give you that payback in the trailer of Captain America.
Oh, do they?
In the water scene, that's where they're fighting. They're fighting by the Celestial Head.
Oh, so they're cool, good. I'm glad they're acknowledging that because that's been there for like 6 years.
Supposedly, that's where the antimanium is.
Okay, cool.
So
great. Yeah, I want all that stuff.
Yeah,
incorporate everything.
They will.
I love it. Because it'll make me, because even though I haven't been a fan of the past MCU films,
right?
They could make me appreciate them in the same way that I haven't been a fan of all of the Fox,
right?
Franchises.
Right.
I can at least now appreciate them since they've kind of honored them in this kind of way. I'm like, fucking honor the past fucking two phases, man.
Jesus Christ! In 2027, I'm gonna have to do a Marvel movie a week. Because I'm gonna have to watch. I'm going to watch every single fucking live action that I get.
I don't know how kids these days keep up. And there's plenty of teenagers that were like at the theater. I'm like, bro, how have you been? Like, I've been watching these movies slowly over the last 25 years. Starting with Blade way back in the day. Like, how could you possibly be keeping up with all of this stuff? It's so crazy. They can't be getting the same thing that we're getting out of it, millennials. Yeah. And now, more than ever before. But anyway, all right, let's wrap this shit up.
Man. All right. How'd you like it? Are you a Deadpool and Wolverine fan? Are you basking in its glory as much as I am? Let me know in the comments. We're on YouTube. We're on Pod Apps. We're on everything that you get your media from. So, till next time, love you, buddy.
Love you, buddy.